Hi, I'm Leather Rokk. Welcome to my channel. So today I got another story time for you, and it is filmed right after it happened. Today I'm looking at my computer to make sure my eyes aren't lying to me. It is the 8th of August 2025, and as I'm talking to you right now, it is 5:38 p.m. So today actually started off really well, even though I was gotten up almost 4 o'clock in the morning last night by a homeless friend who needed to get access to a blanket for his luggage that I had stored in my house, right? And he had a little bit of weed on him, so that was nice too. But anyway, I told him that I had to get up early in the morning because I had things to do today. And one of the things I had to do was scheduled for between 12 and 4, but actually I ended up having an even more important opportunity. I got to participate in a live stream with a fellow YouTuber. His name is Thixamoto. Shout out, dude. We had a real great video conversation. It was well over 2 hours. His audience was very respectful, and actually most of them were familiar with my channel, probably through some other mutual YouTubers, because us YouTubers, we understand life through a lens that not everybody does, because they're out creating content and they're filming and they're talking on camera and they're interviewing other people, so they understand what it's like. And sometimes it really is great to talk to other people who understand. It's like I'm a showbiz person and I like to talk to other showbiz people. So I did this video with him, and I was already dressed, and I said to my mom, I says, I get you anything, I'm going to go out, have an adventure. Maybe I'll find some ideas to make a video about, because I knew that Iris's video scheduled for today and hadn't been created yet. So I went outside, and as I took my walk up one of the main city streets here in Atlantic City, I could tell that there was a guy on a bicycle that was driving fast on the sidewalk where they're really not supposed to be. I mean, because there's always a chance that somebody's going to collide with us pedestrians, right? And this guy, I saw that he was coming up my way, and he was one of these ghetto guys, all right? So I got out of my way. Usually I walk, there's parts of this curb that goes down so that if you have a wheeled thing intended for people like senior citizens and walkers, people with wheelchairs, it's not intended for people to be whizzing around on wheeled devices where if you're that fast, you should be doing it in traffic. So I get out of this guy's way, and you could tell he was pissed off. He was intending to literally either collide with me or get real close and just veer off at the last minute. And there are some guys that like to do that. A couple of years ago in the summertime, there are these two guys on Atlantic Avenue near Atlantic and Tennessee, where there's a lot of shops and things. And there are these guys that were doing these trick maneuvers with their bicycles where they would ride real fast up to somebody, and just before they got to them, they slammed on their brakes. And meanwhile, all the people that were targeted looked like me. And I don't mean fishnet stockings and funny colored hair and stuff, if you get my drift. And it was like they were terrorizing people. And I compared notes with some of the other victims, and they were all agreeing that isn't it interesting the demographics involved. So this happened, and I was already on edge. Then I went to the place where I thought there was something going on, and I got there too late. So, which is just as well, because the last time I went to one of these events that I was going to go to, I remembered spending a lot of time in line. And because I'm trying to avoid the sun, I had an umbrella, and people behind me in line were complaining because I was possibly could, in theory, poke their eyes out. But of course, if they're not looking where they're going, I mean, I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I heard that's something that only mothers have. I'm not anybody's mama. So, no, I have no way of knowing what's behind me. And if a person can't be aware of what's in front of them, maybe take your face out of your screen or whatever. I don't know. I'm responsible for my behavior, not other people's. And I'm certainly not responsible for idiots. So, okay, the park that I went into was totally empty. All right. Then my umbrella started totally breaking apart, and I'm like holding on to it kind of like a parachute because it's really windy, and I'm trying for it to not look any more decrepit than it already is. And it got to the point where somebody gave me a compliment. I didn't know whether they really thought my outfit was cute or whether they were being sarcastic because the umbrella was blowing inside out. Because I'm struggling with the umbrella, and I couldn't not wear the umbrella. And as it is, oh yeah, I had to wear a jacket to cover my arms because I'm running real low on sunblock, right? So the jacket that I was wearing here, I'll show you, it clashes a little bit. I mean, it's got one of the colors that I definitely have on me, but because I'm wearing leopard, it would have been better if I had a tight leopard jacket that just covered my arms, but I like the fact that this is a bolero that it can be open. I have things that would go better with it but totally cover it, and I didn't want my outfit covered. I just wanted my arms covered so that I could protect them from the sun, since I can't waste the remaining sunblock I have on my arms. I'm even worried about this skin here, which I absolutely must not expose, because of prior scar tissue. So then I realized there was nobody at the park, right? So I decided on Tennessee Avenue, I'm going to turn up and cross Pacific and go on to the boardwalk. Okay, and sometimes it's good to walk on Tennessee Avenue because they have a bunch of dispensaries there, and sometimes you can find roaches in the gutter, right? So as I'm turning, crossing Pacific and going up toward the boardwalk, a car slows down, and I got this creepy feeling. Girls, you probably know the feeling when a guy slows down in his car and he either asks a version of, "Want to ride?" or, "Hey babe, how much?" They used to say, "How much do you charge?" But now realizing that that was such an incriminating question, they shortened it to, "How much?" And I don't know what kind of reaction they expect. Anything other than anger, disgust, threats. I would sometimes, one time I had a makeup palette that looked like the flip phones, when I guess in the early age of cell phones, and you could pull it out and it looked like you were reporting somebody. And when guys used to call me nasty things and offer me money for sexual goods and services, I would pick out this thing and they would think I was calling the cops on them, and they would speed away so fast. Boy, want to see how fast somebody goes from 0 to 60? Make them think you're calling the cops on. Boom, they go. So I'm thinking, okay, I get a jerky guy wanting to run into me. I get somebody else trying to buy a prostitute. So, and of course, going on the boardwalk, the thing is there's no shade on the boardwalk. And I was kind of glad that I didn't see anybody that I knew, because the more time you're hanging out outside, the more you're in the sun, and I can't be in the sun. And I'm fighting the wind with the umbrella, and there are times when I was glad when there was some shade and I was able to just close it off. But it was looking so tore up, and I finally got in, and I'm home, and that was my day. And I said to my mom, before I went on this little adventure, I says, hopefully whatever will happen will at least give me something interesting to make a video about. So here it is, another weird day in Atlantic City with creepy, rude guys. And so if you guys ever wonder why us chicks are ever bitches, if you ever wonder why we get on the defensive, if we ever wonder why us women get suspicious, this is why. We run into too many creepy men who think they could just say whatever to us, think they could treat us anyway, and after a while it does kind of wear on you. And I know not everybody's like that, but damn it, it's hard to remember that there's good people around when there's so many creeps. So yeah, hopefully you're not going to run into so many creeps, right? Because it's the summer, you want to enjoy your summertime. Alright, that's it for me. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good day now. Bye.